Fellas, you just worked 12 hours outside and come home to this.
Oh, I'm gonna eat the fuck out that hamburger helper now. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm gonna eat every bit of it. Well, I'm gonna ask my wife. I'm gonna say, baby, did you eat already? And then I'm gonna ask her, did the kids eat already? Everybody got all they wanted? Because I'm gonna eat the fuck out that hamburger helper. May not be my favorite kind of hamburger helper. I like that cheesy, double cheesy hamburger, cheeseburger macaroni. That's it, yeah, cheeseburger macaroni. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Not a big fan of the lasagna kind, but you know what? If it's the lasagna kind, I'm still gonna eat the fuck out of it. I'm gonna be real damn glad that I had somebody that thought enough to cook me something to where I didn't have to come home after working 12 hours outside and fix my own damn supper. And you know what? If she's too tired, I'll get me a bowl of Cheerios or something.
Aww.
It's easy.
Yep.
I love him.
You eat what your wife fixes. That's how that works.
Oh, I
Love all.
love that.
Me too. Hello and welcome to the Milf and Me podcast. My name is Antonio. I'm your host here with my lovely co-host Diana. Diana, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Do we want to tell our listeners that I really fucked up and let us go for 20 minutes without hitting the record button on the cameras?
No, let's not tell anyone that you did that. Let's just go
I don't
along.
hide shit from anybody. I don't hide shit from anybody.
Business as usual. It's
And you know,
fine.
it's the overconfidence. I was really feeling my balls on this one. It's like the first two episodes went so well, pretty much without a hitch. And then I felt good about the lighting and the setup today and everything. And I'm just like, yeah, boop, boop, boop. I forgot. There's an extra button that I have to push now
Yes.
for these goddamn fucking cameras.
An extra button, always. There's always an extra button.
Is there? Tell us about the extra button, Diana.
That's another episode.
Finding the button.
Finding the button. Today's game is to find the button.
So, I think that you owe me an apology.
Oh, shit. I can't wait to hear why.
You doubted me last week. You doubted me.
I did.
said
Mhm.
that there are really disgusting rituals that guys do when they are on Tinder swiping left and right. I said that conservatively, 90% of the time, guys are swiping left and right while they're on the shitter. And you doubted me. You're like, no, they're not. Guys can't be that gross. But
they're so gross.
something
Men
happened.
are gross.
Something happened like 2 days after we recorded that episode. You sent me a text with a little snapshot. I want you to explain
I did.
what happened.
So I was swiping. I wasn't taking a shit while I was swiping. I was on the couch with my cat, one of my cats, one out of two cats, and drinking wine. Who the fuck knows what I was doing? Anyway, I wasn't on the shitter. Okay.
Okay.
And I come across this profile, and I got my phone here. I'm going to read it to you. You know.
I do. But I want you to tell our listeners.
Okay. So this guy, he's pretty cute. He's a bartender. He's not my type. Like, I would never swipe, but I had to like read his thing because it was pretty lengthy. Anyway, I'm not going to do the whole thing. So he says, blah, blah, blah. I'm a bartender. I run my mouth, blah, 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 blah. And then he says, don't read too much into what time of the day that I swipe, because obviously he's a bartender. So he's swiping at like 2 a.m., right? I have shitty sleeping patterns. I'm open. So let's start talking and see where it goes. Also, I'm likely swiping while on the toilet. So there's also that. He says. So there's also that.
Ooh.
Also, I'm likely swiping while on the toilet. Like, why? It's cool. It's funny.
I love it. I love it because the guy's telling the truth. The guy's telling it like it is.
He is telling it like it is, but like
I feel justified. And you know what? I don't know. I don't want an apology.
I
I don't. I don't want an apology because
I don't mind apologizing to you.
Well, here's the thing. You genuinely from your heart didn't want to believe that it was true. You weren't calling me a liar. You were coming from a place deep inside where you're like, please don't let it be true
Yeah.
that someone is admiring me while they're on the shitter.
Yeah, while they're taking a shit and they're like, oh, this girl's cute. Like, what? No, I'm good.
Right. Well, at least it wasn't like in a public restroom after eating too much Indian food.
Right? Gross. I listened back to that one. That was a pretty good one.
That was a pretty good one. I like that one. So anyway, I think we've got plenty of time to get into more of your shitty Tinder profiles.
I see what you did.
I see what I did there. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to look at scary Tinder stories.
Ooh.
Now, I told you, and hopefully you'll have one for me later, to think of maybe not your scariest, because I feel that if you had a scary one, you would have let me know about it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just maybe talk about like whatever the most uncomfortable one was, or the one that maybe you did fear that something bad was going to happen to you.
Okay.
But I mean, most of the time it's like we talked about in that one episode about compensation. You know, some guy shows up with like a fucking truck that you have to like high jump into.
Yeah.
You know, or
and I'm like standing there going, how the fuck am I supposed to get into this thing?
Or there's no chemistry, there's no connection.
Yeah. Just awkward moments.
Just awkward moments. But these ones, I'm not going to say that they're all scary, but some of them kind of are. Let's just say that these were very shitty dating experiences based off of Tinder. Are you ready?
I'm ready for all the shit. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so number 1. My buddy isn't the smartest man. He picked up a chick and drove to a motel. They were walking into the room and she says, "Oh shit, I forgot my purse in your car. Do you mind if I go grab it?" He says, "Yeah, that's fine." And he tosses her the keys. And then 5 minutes later, he walks outside wondering where she was. And as he goes out into the parking lot, his car is gone.
Oh my gosh. How ballsy of her.
For clarification, he got his car back. I think the police found it about a week later. I don't think she was ever caught. So if you're in the Baltimore area swiping, don't let her near your keys.
That's wild that she was never caught even. Wow.
I mean, I've heard about this happening, not just on Tinder, but like in just regular dating where you're on a blind date or you've met someone at a bar or whatever, and you show up and the girl's really just waiting to see how much money you have in your wallet. And then she will text somebody outside, whether it's a guy or a group of guys. And as you leave for the parking lot, they jump you and roll you for your money.
What
So
in the hell?
dating is fucking scary.
That's wild. I've not heard of this. Like I'm sure you can find anything on Reddit, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of real stories like that from anyone I've known. Like, that's wild shit.
Well, we also live in a very...
There's shady shit that happens here.
Okay, there's shady shit that happens here, but like when you look at the stories that happen in Los Angeles, Chicago, New
Well,
York,
yeah.
it feels like we're in fucking Disneyland.
I know. I know. It's true.
I
But
mean, like-
there's still some shady shit that goes down.
Right, meth. Like everything in Utah is meth. Meth and churchy folks doing some shitty things to people, but
Yeah.
that's a different episode. All right, so number 2. I was on a Tinder date with a famous chef where I was taken to a dive bar where he promptly started talking about how famous he was. We drank, we watched sports, and then he proceeded to tell me, "You're cute," and eventually went on to say, "I'm going to make you bleed."
I mean, what?
Who says that?
Wow.
He then invited one of his friends to come along. I went outside and he came up to kiss me. I was drunk, so I kissed back. Eventually, he proceeded to tell me how he was being charged with battering his ex-girlfriend, but he totally didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
So now when it came to pay the bill, he lost his wallet.
Oh, my
So of course, I get stuck with the check. "I'll pay you back." Needless to say, I never got a payment. Then he leaned up against me. I thought he was going to try to kiss me again, but I looked down and he was peeing on me. In the street, peeing on me.
Why?
I swiftly, being too inebriated to drive, went and got myself a hotel room and a hot shower. Never again. What the fuck
What?
is it with us and stories of women getting peed on dates?
What in the actual fuck? Like, gross.
And like, I didn't look for stories about people getting peed on. This just happened to be in the Reddit list that I was pulling these things from.
Men are so gross.
Have you ever been peed on?
No.
Have you ever peed on anybody?
No. Well, ooh. I thought that I was one time.
False alarm.
It was a false alarm.
Okay. That's another episode. I want to hear that story.
That is another episode, and maybe not even an episode. We'll have to see how I feel.
Ooh, maybe that could be a Patreon episode.
Ooh.
Pay $50 and you get to hear
It's a spicy one.
the spicy story.
It might be worth it. It might be worth it.
It might be worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
you've already done your OnlyFans phase and you're out of that.
I'm out of the OnlyFans thing, yes.
But spicy stories, you're not
Yep.
showing it. Ooh, you could like,
I got enough spicy
you could
stories.
narrate it. Like you could write them down
Yeah.
so your thoughts are clear.
Yeah.
And then you could do like the ASMR.
Oh, yeah.
You could get right up into the mic and be like,
And then you'll never guess what happened next.
whoa,
How do you like that?
I think I'm turned on.
No, you're not. You're fine.
I'm fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, let's get back to this. All right, here we go. Number 3, a little backstory. A few years ago, I was dating this girl and her father really hated me, which was a bit odd as most parents actually love me, or at least lie about it very well. He was just a huge prick and I always called him on his shit. Anyway, her parents got divorced, we broke up a few months later, etc. Now fast forward to a year later. Me and a girl from Tinder were dating for a few months and things were starting to get serious. We're at the point where she wants to meet her family. So, mother, stepfather, little sister, I'm going to meet them all. Why not? I have no problems meeting them. Let's do it, I said. She told me how excited her stepdad was to meet me, and as it turns out, we both happen to be from Kansas.
Oh my God, Kansas.
Well, fuck me if it wasn't the same asshole father of my ex-girlfriend.
Oh my.
I'm guessing that relationship didn't last.
What are the chances, right?
Well,
That's a small lake city type
That's
deal.
a small lake city thing, except, I don't know, you would probably know and just deal with it. It's like, oh, yeah, I know who this girl's father is.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an interesting thing that we haven't really talked about is we know that a lot of people get divorced in this state.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't know is how many times they get remarried.
To the same person?
No, to multiple people.
Oh.
Like it would make sense in Utah that, let's say, you could easily date 3 different girls that all ended up having the same stepdad, because fucking small lake city over here.
I see what you're
guys,
saying. I see what you're saying.
I have a dear friend.
I was really confused for a minute.
I don't want to get too into it,
Yeah.
but
Someone I know.
It's someone you know.
For sure.
There are 4 sets of kids from the same mom, all with different dads,
Oh, God damn.
and all the dads like worked together. They all knew each other. So let's say if you
Oh.
married one of these kids, right, you would essentially have 4 different stepdads. Now, what are the possibilities? What are the possibilities that you could end up like dating multiple girls from different
Ooh.
marriages?
Ooh. That's fucked up a little.
I think that's a Utah thing. It might happen in other states, but definitely a Utah thing where people do have multiple families. We talked about it in the
Yeah.
Secret Lives episode.
Yeah.
I mean, but this isn't a secret family. This is someone who literally will have a kid with a partner and then boop, jump to another one, then boop, jump to another one,
Yeah.
and then have kids with each one of those partners.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I've been to weddings where there's like 3 stepdads.
I've not experienced that. That's some crazy shit.
I
I'll
don't
have to talk about that later, but wow.
Right.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Number 4.
Uh-huh.
Buddy of mine hit it off with this girl, and after a few days, she invited him over to a house party. Sure, he says, what could go wrong? He shows up and is introduced to a few of her friends, all guys. As the night carries on, more and more guys show up, and very few girls are actually at the party. After they start talking about how they all know this girl, they find out that she all invited them to this party off of Tinder. Every guy was there not to hook up, but to populate this chick's birthday party.
Oh my hell. That's
I
so
guarantee
funny.
you they all brought presents.
Of course.
That's a fucking scam, and it's fucking brilliant.
That's so funny.
Because, I mean, we simps,
you simps.
we would show up. I would show up if I met a good
You'd
looking,
be like,
sexy
I've
girl
got a
off
cute
Tinder.
gift.
Oh, I'd probably drop $100, maybe more. Be like, okay, I'm gonna really show how good of a guy I am by going
Yeah.
to her birthday party
Yeah.
and bringing the best gift that I can.
Yeah.
And then there's like 40 fucking dudes there all with the same thing.
I mean, for her, I would start feeling awkward after a minute. Like, they would start picking up what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So I dated a girl one time that was just friends with all of her exes. As we've learned from the red pill guys,
Yep.
red flag, right?
Yep.
I think it's cool. It's fine to be like kind of friendly with an ex, maybe from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Years have passed. It's
Yeah.
not too great. But if it's like someone from 2 months ago, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I went to one of her birthday parties. It was like 3 weeks into us dating. And there was literally like 20 of her exes and stuff like that there. Like all of her friends that were there had dated her at one point or another.
Wow.
That did not last long. I didn't get emotionally attached to that one.
That is really interesting stuff. I mean, I wonder if that would make her feel, if she felt weird.
I don't think so. I mean, this is the
Like,
same
it
thing
just was a
too.
normal thing to her.
Well, I mean, and I remember one of the first times.
When was this, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it was really not long before I was with my partner. It was when I
Oh,
was in
okay.
my online dating hoe phase, you could
Yeah.
say. And I remember her, and I didn't really think about it too much until I started watching some of these red pill videos. Like, there are guys who would fly from the East Coast to come see her. And I'm like, that sounds a little weird. And she's like, but it's my friend. How can you not support me and my friend? Like, he flew all the way from Maine or Connecticut or some shit. And you think, why do you think he wants? I'm like, if he's flying all the way from the East Coast, I know exactly what the fuck he wants.
Yeah, he wants to fuck you right now.
And me and my dumb ass was like, oh no, I trust her.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be cool.
Oh my hell, I can't.
So how about this? What are some of your scary or shitty Tinder dating stories? Do you have any for me?
I have the one of I forgot my wallet. That happened to me.
Really?
It did. It did.
Okay, I
Yep.
got to know what restaurant you were at.
So that's what I was trying to think of. And I can't remember. I know we were in Salt Lake. And it was after I was divorced, obviously. But yeah, it was an awkward. Okay, so this is my weird thing about meeting someone online.
Mhm.
It used to be, and I've changed a lot since then, but I used to text guys like for a while before we met. And I think that's a really bad idea. It's not a good idea. And I'll tell you why in a second.
You mentioned this before, but go ahead.
Yeah. So because we texted for so long and we really got to know each other through photos and just day-to-day stuff, for a couple weeks, you get a tiny sense of attachment, okay, before you even meet for the first time. So my dumbass felt sorry for him because it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I felt sorry for him that he
Right.
forgot his wallet. Like, I was so apologetic because he was like, I was running out the door. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I feel so dumb. And I'm like, it's totally fine. So I picked up the bill, which wasn't a problem. But then it was like, what do you want to do after dinner? Like, after we ate, and I'm all, I don't know. What do you want to do? Like, you want to go for a walk in the park? Like, you forgot your fucking wallet. Like, I can just pick up the tab for the rest of the night, But then it was like, no, I'm good. Like, it was just really nice to meet you. And I try to be nice. I'm not going to be a bitch or an asshole. But yeah, my thing about that's really the only shitty story I have is I kind of got caught in a situation where I had to question him for a minute, but because we texted for so long, it was too long. We had too much of a pen pal thing built up to where it wasn't a shitty experience for me. Does that make sense? If it was someone I had just barely talked to a tiny bit,
You could have been like,
And we then get at the end of the night and he's like, oh, I forgot my wallet. And it's like, I don't even fucking know you. Like, I barely know your name.
There's
and
no feels. There's no emotion.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Then it would have been like, okay, well, I'm going to pay for mine. You can work it out with the fucking restaurant on what you're going to do with yours. But, so anyway, my big thing is, and I have learned this in the past few years, you cannot have a pen pal for too long. You really need to meet soon. You need to make it happen soon, because if you guys don't jive, if there's no vibe there when you're meeting in person, you just wasted all of that time texting back and forth during the day. Good nights, good mornings. How are you today? What are you up to? What's your schedule like? How are the kids? Sending pictures, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to this meeting for the first time.
It just doesn't jive.
And it doesn't jive. Guess what? You're now left with, oh, fuck. We've been doing this for like 3 weeks. And then you're like, well, maybe that big, huge red flag is pink. We should maybe try a second date and then maybe a third, because you feel like obligated that you gave so much time and effort to this person. It's just not a good idea.
Well, and then you run the risk of, like, if you're the one making that realization, chances are the other person in that situation's like totally in the dark. They might think everything's great.
Exactly.
If it's a dude especially, and you're paying attention to him, oh my God, that's how I'd be. Like, but what about all those sweet words?
Yeah, you said all these
love and sweetheart and darling and baby and all that shit.
You were so kind to me. Yeah, like, what about all that? And it's like, I just fucking met you. Like, there's no easy way to say other than I just met you, and that is where you start feeling regretful for giving so much time before you met. Listen, this is my deal. I have gotten smart in my little dating. I'm using my hands. Every time I use my hands, I'm serious. I've gotten really smart at this game. And I call it a game because it fucking is.
Fucking game.
Okay. I hate to say it, but it is. It's hard. It's hard to meet people. Coffee. Keep it short and sweet. At the very, very most, lunch. But don't let it drag on. It's either coffee or lunch right out of the gates. The first time you meet. And then you can decide, okay, if there's a second date, dinner, then that's a little bit longer. Then there's like wine or like drinks involved, right? But don't plan like all of these hours, and don't open yourself up like, I have the whole day open, like, let's meet. Now this jackass knows you have the whole fucking day open.
Right.
You're meeting him at the park and he knows you have the whole day open. What if you don't jive? You don't want your whole day open. Fuck no.
You've run out of excuses.
I literally
you didn't leave yourself an exit.
Yes, I literally have an hour to meet you. Like, an hour. Let's meet for an hour, have coffee, maybe a little pastry. I don't fucking care, whatever.
Right.
And then see where it goes.
I think I figured that out the way you're supposed to, the fuck around and find out method, right?
Absolutely.
The first few times that I was dating online, I just did way too much, way too fast. I'm like, we're going to go to Ava. I'm going to drop $120 on fucking tapas and a bottle of wine, and then I'm never going to hear from you again.
Yeah, no.
No, like, it's true. The short and sweet. I love your idea of putting a time frame on it. I never did that. That's fucking smart.
Listen, and it's funny because I don't do it because I'm smart. I literally am so fucking busy.
You don't have the time to fuck around.
I do not have the time to fuck around, but this is the part that's the hardest for me is I'm ready to meet my person.
Yeah.
I've been ready for a long time, but I'm busy and I'm building an empire right now. I'm married to my career, and I have to have someone that's equally invested in their own life in order to make this work. So I literally only have an hour to meet for coffee right out of the gates. That's all I got.
Right. You got the kids too. I mean, we all want the hamburger helper lifestyle that guy was talking about, but you don't have the time for that. You really need to find someone that's okay with you building something. And that's where I do get pissed off at the red pill stuff of saying, don't find yourself a boss babe. But you know what?
Yeah.
Boss babes like you.
I just don't like that term.
Well,
I'm a
you're
weird.
building
I'm
a
different.
future. You're building a future not only for you,
Yeah.
but for who your person is.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
What they try and tell you is that anyone, female,
Yeah.
who's trying to build their empire, that they're building it for them and no one else.
Yeah.
That's not
the boss
true.
babe thing, I can't get on board with it. I just can't. Sorry, ladies. Love ya.
Yeah, but there are women that are like that. But guess what? I doubt
Yeah.
that they're dating and are as sincere about their wishes and their plans for their future as you are.
Oh, thank you.
If you really want it, you're going to tell them what you want.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're trying to fuck around with their wallet and get their money.
Right. No.
You're not.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
No, I make my own money. And no, the thing is with dating that's hard is there's a lot of hidden agendas and hidden motives that you don't really know that people are maybe capable of, you know. And I've learned this the hard way too. Tinder's hard, Bumble, I mean, all the dating apps, I don't fucking care what they are, but it's all about pictures.
Yeah.
It right out of the gates. Okay. And then it's all about that bio, how they write, how they punctuate. And you really can find high value men on these apps if you're taking it serious. I know it's funny. It's hilarious. Laugh it up, but I'm serious because they're out there. The issue I have is that if I meet too many of them and they're all messaging me, I can't message all of them and have conversations and carry conversations with all of them because I'm such a loyal one person. Like if I connect with one person, then I'm like ignoring everybody else.
Right.
And a lot of these girls aren't doing that.
They're not at all. Well, Diana,
Well,
I wish you the best of luck in your
thank
fishing.
you. Oh,
You're
thank
going to
you.
find somebody, and I think this is the way to do it. Be sincere with your expectations. Be sincere with the reality of what your life is and what you want your life to be.
Yeah.
And the guy who knows what he's getting is going to be a very, very, very lucky guy.
Thank you.
It's just going to take time to find him.
Yes, it is. This looks fun.
Always prepare for women to leave you. I don't care how much money, clout, or status you have, you must prepare for that day that she leave you. One of the realest things I ever heard is, she's not your girl, she's just your turn. You must understand that women are controlled by their emotions. Y'all could be chilling, vibing, having a good time. A thought could come across her mind that ain't got nothing to do with you, and all of a sudden she got an attitude, or now she in her feelings. Your girl could be the happiest woman on the planet in one moment, and then wake up the next day and decide she don't want none of this no more. Every situationship or relationship has an expiration date, so you better be ready for it.
What do you think about that? Doom and gloom, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. That does not matter if it is a man or a woman. I mean, why did he single out women? I'll never know, but
Well, it's just that mentality, is that red pill thing. But
that's the same for everybody. Anybody can wake up one morning and decide they don't want this anymore.
it's true.
Every fucking person. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I don't have much to say other than that. Like, he's a fucking ridiculously lost it. He's a lunatic.
I mean, you and I both believe in manifestation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My opinion about this is, if you are so conscious about having an exit strategy,
Yep.
and what your life needs to be or is going to be, if you've got a fucking go bag, right?
You're literally
If you've
creating
got a
it.
bounce bag, you are creating
You're creating it.
the opportunity for your partner to recognize that you're not feeling 100% into this because you're creating an exit strategy,
Absolutely.
and it's recognizable.
Yep.
I have dated girls that had an exit strategy from day one. Now, this is just my experience. I'm not going to put this as a blanket statement and all girls are like this, but we've talked about backup boyfriends before.
Yep.
There are girls that have backup boyfriends. They're friend zone guys, whatever. I think, though, what makes it obvious is the amount of communication to them while you're dating. So, example, I had a girlfriend that would send me a bikini pic, right? Maybe she's at the pool or the water park or whatever, But then I also know that she's sending that same bikini pic to like 5 other guys that she's not
Yeah.
dating, but have that connection with.
That's literally what is wrong with the dating scene
Right.
to this day.
I feel that's like a younger person's game, and that older people are starting to learn bad habits from the younger generations.
Yeah, the older, I mean, our generation, older, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Well,
They're
I mean,
doing the same thing.
They're doing the same
They're
thing.
doing the same thing.
But the thing is, like, we're a lot smarter. We recognize it earlier. When you're young, you're dumb. She was dumb
Yeah.
and didn't realize that I totally knew what she was doing, probably because she had dated someone much younger before and got away with it for way too long, and she just felt comfortable in her mode, right?
Yeah.
But you know,
I mean, I can tell. I mean, when you're texting somebody and they're sending you selfies a lot during the day.
mhm.
I mean, I wasn't dating this person. We hadn't even met in person yet, but I gave him my number and we were texting before we met. It was like that week, right? Before we decided to meet for coffee.
Right.
We didn't even get to coffee. And I'll tell you why. It was because of that. It was annoying. I was like, dude, like, you tell me you're a general contractor, but like, what the fuck? Like, are you working? Like, you're sending me all these selfies. Like, and then I started joking with him and I said, who else did you send that to today?
Right.
Who else have you sent these pictures to?
And silence.
Oh yeah, crickets. But then it's like, ha ha ha, no, baby, it's just all for you. It's all, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know. And then I just let it fizzle out, and then that was that. Like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that game. But it's true.
It's a hard one because it's like, I think both you and I are people who, much to maybe our disappointment in the past, we put all of our chips in a relationship.
Yes.
Like, I know I do. You know I do, because I've told you way
And you
too many
know I
stories.
do.
Yeah, I think we both have that in common
Really early on.
really early on. And this is where like the whole fuck around and find out thing comes, because you can do that and you can get fucked over big time.
Yep.
I'm not saying that is going to be the definition of all your relationships in the future, but you learn a little bit more about them.
Oh, yes.
And this is
So
where like I
much.
disagree with Pearl and some of the other red pill people, especially when they're talking about women, where they say women with high body counts can't honestly love somebody because they've spread out all of their emotions and all of their sensuality and respect for themselves and their partners between too many men. My opinion is
Mm-mm.
body counts don't fucking matter,
No.
because unless you are a total hoe, which no disrespect, some people like that and they're fine with that.
Yeah.
It's part of the fucking around of finding out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like a real relationship, or you have a sexual relationship with somebody that counts as a body. That relationship means something to you. And if you got fucked over, or by circumstance you fucked someone else over, hopefully you've learned something from that. It's education. That's
Yeah.
why, and we talked about it before, it's like some of my best relationships were with people that got fucked over so many times that they recognized red flags. And then when I came into the situation without any of them, it was better for me. Whether
Yeah.
or not the relationship lasted for whatever reason, that's not really the point.
Yeah.
The point is you feel more confident about your decisions and you feel like you can handle situations better. Which is why
Absolutely.
when you get blindsided every once in a while by a real asshole, it surprises me because you usually sniff it out really early.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, another thing too, I was going to add to the whole thing that Pearl was saying. I love Pearl. You know how much I love her. It's been 11 years, right? Been doing this little thing for 11 years. And there's so many things I've learned and so many things I like and so many things I don't like. And so I'm almost building and manifesting this man, right?
Right.
So for me, and I would feel this way if it was a dude that has been doing this for as long as me as well. When you meet your person and you know that, and you start building a friendship, relationship, whatever, how cool is it that of all the people I could choose and all the people I've been with and all the people I've experienced, that I choose him.
Right.
That is super special and super, super sacred in my eyes. That is special. It doesn't matter how many people I've dated or how many people I've been with. None of it matters because it happened in the past. We're not living in the past anymore. It is just forward movement from here
Right.
forward. And if you're to choose somebody after having all of those experiences and you're to choose this one person, how fucking awesome is that? Like, you could have anyone of those other people, right?
Right.
But this is the one that you have chosen to settle down with. That speaks volume.
It speaks volumes, and it also speaks volumes of what they decide to do with that.
Yes.
Because that's a fucking gift.
Yes.
And I think that men, and I will agree with some of the things that red pill people say, where, attention to a man means a lot. That's why we fall for
Absolutely.
bullshit so easily, is
Absolutely.
because if you're paying attention to us, if you're flirting with us, we are not used to that. Even like the beautiful alpha dudes out there,
Yeah.
especially when it doesn't seem surfacey, like you like to say, when
Yeah.
it seems like sincere.
Authentic. Yeah.
That's why we fall for shit so often.
Yep.
I'm fine with that, because eventually you are going to find someone who is sincere, that isn't just giving you the surfacey shit.
Yeah.
So then
For sure.
my advice to the dude that gets it is don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Don't all of a sudden think that, oh, you know what? I got this girl. I bet I could get someone hotter. I bet I could get someone better.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe you can, but it won't be as good as what you have right now.
Yeah.
And I think both men and women have that problem.
Yes. I agree.
All right, this is the point of the show where we do our calls to action, where we tell you to go like our YouTube video, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
Yeah.
Email Dianna and me at themilfandmepod@gmail.com. Give us your dating stories. Give us your Tinder stories. We want to hear them. I mean, it's about time we start hearing from our listeners and our viewers. It's a whole new
Yeah.
audience.
I
And
know. YouTube's crazy,
YouTube's
right?
crazy. I mean, yeah, people get thousands and millions of views. I was really happy with the amount of views we got on our first episode, especially.
So is that.
I'm not going to call out any other podcasts, but there's some local podcasts that I feel kind of do the same thing that we do, but like more on a like local level.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw their average episode view compared to ours. I was like, oh,
Really?
we did pretty good.
Oh,
I feel good about it on our first time out.
Oh,
I'm not going to keep my hopes too high, because I don't know, maybe a bunch of people watched it on the first time and then decided
we're just virgins.
we're just virgins. We're just starting. We got plenty of great episodes ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of the Milf and Me podcast. We will see you next week on YouTube with another fun episode. Dianna, it was great. I love you.
I love you
Absolutely.
too.
And you know what? It's time to go change into our costumes for the next episode.
Yes.
We will see you all next week, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.